So Venky, I wanna start by sharing something. When I was applying for a role at Flyy, when I was about to join Flyy, I was going through our LinkedIn. I went through your LinkedIn, and then I came across this post where you had shared your happiness of taking a new office. You had there was this picture
Yeah, I
where we had
posted, yeah.
yeah. So I saw that and I could see the happiness, but then it made me think of two things. One was, okay, there's a beautiful office and I'm glad that I'm going to join such a nice office. But then second was, I'm pretty sure there's a story behind it, because I could see that happiness which was getting reflected in your post, that how far we have come. So that made me curious that how far. I'm sure there's a long way to go, but then I could see that, right? So I wanted to know more. So that happened. Okay. So then my research went on, and then I went to our blog where you had written an article, and you said that how Flyy was born out of AppBrowzer. But that's not exactly what I want to know. I want to know more. That what was that eureka moment which led you to create Flyy, or how did you think of the name Flyy? How did it happen?
So what essentially, just out of curiosity, so this is before you applying for the job and being selected, or
When I got selected, then I started.
acha, you got selected. Okay. Before that, did you know anything about Fly?
Of course, I knew. I did my research. The office post I came across when I got selected.
Acha, okay, okay. Yeah. So essentially, as you already mentioned that, Fly has come out of AppBrowzer. AppBrowser, so initially, when we started AppBrowser, the goal was to actually replace Play Store. The whole idea of installing a mobile application. Today, if you use your desktop, do you install a mobile, do you install an application? Is that the normal process?
Using my desktop?
While you're using your Mac, do you install an application here?
Not really.
Ever?
It's
I think Slack, probably, you must have installed Slack.
Maximum.
But only one application, which is the Google Chrome. If you have the Google Chrome, done. Right? You don't have to install individual applications, right? So if you have a browser on your desktop, done. You're done with it. Web browser. Most of the applications are available on the web. You can access your Gmail, Slack, everything.
Yeah.
Any tool for that matter. Our goal to build app browser was, why is there still that installation process existing for mobile application?
Okay.
If you, I mean, from my perspective, if you look at it, I was like, just okay, why is it not happening that people are not using? I mean, Google says that, okay, you have to create a mobile application. Creating a mobile application is a big process in itself.
Yeah.
Then getting people to install that mobile application is another headache altogether.
Correct.
Big headache.
Yeah.
It becomes very difficult for a marketer. They have to spend a lot of money. Now, why is Google not doing anything? They came up with instant tabs during that time, but even before that, we thought, why can't we build browsable mobile applications? That instead of similar to web, but my my idea, or whatever I have understood, the desktop browser or the browser was never created to accommodate something which was moving on the go, like a smartphone. You're on the go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Browser does not have the capabilities, the protocols, the rules and regulations to support that. Now Chrome is coming up with it. It's just that they're trying to compress. If you see a website, if you make a responsive version of it, you have to cut down on so many things. It does not give you that native experience of a mobile application, right? The look and feel does not come in. They're trying very hard to match that experience, but native is going way faster
Yeah.
than the web experience which is out there, right? So it is not able to catch up. That same thing led us to build AppBrowser. We will start this thing from scratch. That was the goal.
Okay.
And then while we started building it, after building it, the goal, even users came in, but there were so many applications inside one mobile app. We had to break that habit of the user. Let's say they had the habit. If I ask you, there is a new application called Grofers. Now there is an app called Grofers. You can order grocery from there. If I say that to you, what is your immediate response?
I will just go and search for like Grofers.
Where would you search?
In Play Store
Or App Store, in Play Store or App Store. That's a habit. Now, breaking the habit is very difficult. Now, at that point in time, I did not know. It's very difficult because the industry is moving in that. Everyone is talking about download my application from Play Store. Right? You see that icon, get it on Google Play.
That's the CTA out there when it comes.
That's the CTA out there. That's the trigger that's out there. Any application, I have to open Play Store, install it. People have that, circuit made in their mind. That network is already there. That habit is already.
App means installing it, downloading it. Those
Yes.
are the terms.
So that browsable applications, then again, it was a new concept altogether. And we struggled a lot to engage the users.
Right.
And while doing that, even for acquisition, acquiring the user, I wanted the cheapest channel. I wanted the best possible channel to acquire our users. So that is why, I started a referral program. We started building referral. We experimented with referral program. Even after experimenting, what happened? We could not get that kind of results. But there was a lot of tech effort involved while doing any changes, any release for that matter. It would be a big, a lot of tech effort, and then, design, then you would have, the requirements being gathered in an Excel sheet. We started with that, and then testing would be there just to launch a referral program. Then we said, okay, now a referral program is there. We created a good referral program, but we said, okay, even if the user come in, how do we engage them? So we looked at different avenues. Then, okay, rewards is one thing. We have to include variable rewards. We saw that Google Pay is doing really well. And I also read that book called Hooked by Neer Ayar. I read that book for almost a month, and understood, how the user behaves inside a mobile application. What is habit, essentially? If you have read my blog, that three-part blog on, how we started Flyy, or what were the lessons learned from AppBrowzer.
Right.
In that blog, I've clearly, the eureka moment was, okay, there was this scratch cards working, then scratch cards, there was somebody who has written in the article that I was reading. In that article, somebody has mentioned, okay, variable rewards really work well. In the comment section, someone has written that. Variable rewards, you must read Hooked model. I researched on that one. I started reading this book, Hooked model. And that actually changed the complete perspective and narrative. Then I understood, actually, it's not just, whatever we have been building, it's actually we have been trying to change the habit of the user, which is very difficult.
Which is difficult, yeah.
Either I try and latch on to something which is like for example, in China, you have WeChat, and WeChat is a super application. You can do anything. You can browse, you can do shopping, you can pay, you can, do anything and everything using WeChat.
Yeah.
Same is not the case with, same is the case with, Grab in, I think, Indonesia, Southeast Asia. They have been able to build that super application. But there was a core service that was being offered for which people were returning into the application, which was, in the case of WeChat, it was messaging. In the case of Grab, it was, that commute, day-to-day commute. That's how people were opening that application. And top of that, they built that super app. China, it was easy because, there's not much competition out there. There's a lot of restriction when it comes to China. Hence, if there is no competition, then, they were very limited, and they control a lot of stuff in China. Hence, WeChat could capitalize on it, and I think a lot of companies are partially owned by Chinese government. That's why, because they enforce that you have to use everything through one service. Hence, WeChat could do it really well.
Correct.
The government is also enforcing you to use or do any transaction via WeChat. That could be the case. I'm not sure how WeChat has been able to crack that super app model, doing anything and everything via WeChat.
Because we're aware of this. The other apps are kind of blocked in the country. I mean, we know that.
Yeah, so that could be the case. I researched a lot on Chinese WeChat. How did they do it? Then I read about Alipay, Alibaba. They were doing a lot of gamification, and it opened up a whole lot of spectrum. And then understood. And I was also very new. I did not know how this mobile app complete game works. How companies approach mobile apps. Even it was an evolving period for a lot of us.
Yeah.
The complete industry. There were not many mobile apps earlier to 2014. So it was an evolving space, and while doing that, we were learning.
Yeah.
2015 to almost 2019, and why we started Flyy after that was because we built complete reward system for AppBrowzer. There was nothing available out there. We had to build something. We have built it now. Now AppBrowzer is not generating enough revenue. If it is not generating enough revenue, it's not a sustainable business model.
Right.
And see, raising venture capital is really tough, and actually only 90. So out of the companies, who are funded, let's say 1,000 companies go in, only 2 companies get venture capital. That's the 99.8% gets 99.98% gets rejected in venture capital. So we reached out to a lot of VCs, investors, not angel investors, but VC firms like Sequoia Capital and Kalari, a lot of venture capital firms we went to, but nobody, because we were not able to show any result out there.
Correct. That sustainability, angle was.
That retention numbers were not good.
Yeah.
We were not able to achieve that, and we couldn't have survived with that product. We did a deal with a phone manufacturer. We said, we'll give you AppBrowser pre-installed. We'll share the revenue, whatever ad revenues we generate, but it's very minimal. And then that phone manufacturer, the ad revenues were not that much for us to continue building this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was very hard for us to change the habit. But what we realized, or what essentially, I was looking at it, if at all, AppBrowser had that one thing similar to WeChat or Grab, one action that people are coming onto the application to do that action on a daily basis, then we could have created something with this reward system whatever we have created.
Right.
It would have impacted our that particular metric would have improved a lot. And how did I know that? Because I ran a lot of experiments inside AppBrowser to increase certain, there was an option to add to home screen in AppBrowser. There were applications like Snapdeal, then there were smart applications, so you could essentially browse on Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, Alibaba, all at the same time. You search once and it gets searched across the application. That is still there. So that you could add directly to your home screen. I could drive that action using a rewards program. People were adding it into their home screen, and then adoption on that particular cohort of users were very active inside AppBrowser. But then we were not making enough revenues.
What
They were
reward
not.
were we offering them?
9 to 49 rupees to add it to the home screen.
Cash reward. I mean,
Cash reward,
wallet.
straightforward cash reward. The set of users that also we acquired were, today they are called influencers, micro influencers. Those are the kind of users that we were able to acquire because it was a cash reward. So most of them were YouTube influencers talking about it, added. But what we saw, they were adding it for getting the reward once, but we had that 100 rupees minimum. You need to have 100 rupees to be able to redeem.
Right.
So then 9 rupees, they got the cash in their wallet, but they could not redeem it into their bank account.
Oh, is
So they had to use AppBrowser to get to that 100 rupees. We thought we'll incentivize and inculcate that behavior of using AppBrowser as their main. Instead of Play Store, they come to AppBrowser to go through any application.
Right, right.
We tried that a lot. However, it's a difficult market, and then there were companies who essentially everyone were trying to build. I wouldn't say people copied us. There was a company called Tabzo. As initially it was called, I think, Akosha, that was into question and answer, support, consumer forum. If you have a problem with any company, you post it there, they will help you resolve it. They will connect with the company, they will file a case in the consumer court. That was the consumer forum, private consumer forum. So Akosha, it was a website earlier, then it converted into a mobile application, then it shifted on to it was called they copied from Haptic.
Okay.
It's a company, so chat service. I'm not sure, at that point in time people were like, in the chat you could book your cab, in the chat you could book your flight ticket,
Right.
or there would be an AI bot. If at all it was not able to answer, then it will connect to the human agent. That way they were doing, Haptic was doing it. Akosha copied Haptic
Okay. Okay.
and created, they changed the name to Help Chat. Help Chat, with Help Chat, they were doing recharges, they were doing, cab booking and all of that. Then they moved to, they shifted the model into all-in-one app, similar to what we have been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was just, they were experimenting and they were Sequoia funded. Tabzo, then they ran Tabzo, they almost raised 120 crores, but they also could not survive. Then we realized, it is something, it is still not there. We have to come up with something else. As a, so essentially you start with something and then, you keep pivoting, and then you found a product that I was just speaking to Sunny and I told him, we have built this complete system. Now let's, I think we have a potential market out there. Sunny said, I don't want to, he said, we should not be building anything, if at all. If somebody says that, okay, they want to buy, then only we should think about building anything else. Because we were tired, of building 2015 to 2019, 4 years, trying so many different things. And then, on top of that, you have that cash flow restrictions. You do not have any money. We raised some angel rounds, but then it's not enough for us to survive. And then you're not showing any results. These people will not invest in you.
Yeah.
So then we decided, okay, let's create a deck of whatever we are offering. We created a deck, Sunny and Prakash. I'm not sure if Prakash.
So if I'm not wrong, the product wasn't ready, but you had it in mind and you created
So
a
product
deck.
was built for AppBrowser. It
That
was
the referral.
so it was not a product that can be used by somebody else, but complete system was there.
Okay.
What the kind of thing that we wanted. Okay, there will be an offer screen, then wallet screen, reward screen. All of that was there inside AppBrowser. We just had to extract it, but that extraction took a lot of time to build it, to make it ready for another company. It requires a lot of effort, which initially I did not think it would be that much of an effort. I told him we created a deck. We spoke to our advisor. We said, we have a product that we think, similar to Google Pay. If at all, a company wants to, like, if SBI wants to start a scratch card rewards, a complete reward system, we have a system in place.
That's
We
how
have
you-
the
that's how you
SDK in
put it?
place.
Okay.
That we told to our advisor. And he said, but keep continuing AppBrowser. He was very, very supportive. He said, AppBrowser is something it can do really well. He was very excited since the beginning. Everyone, even our investor, Deepak Gunani, he came here and then he was like, we could have done really big things with AppBrowser. But it did not work out, but just we decided we'll move on to Flyy. We'll keep AppBrowzer as it is, and we started working on, started pitching AppBrowser to that deck.
Yeah.
And then deck. Now what happened? We started. So I started. I had somebody, one person assigned, who would sit and send this deck to all the product managers, whomsoever you can find. Start sending that deck to product managers. Use my LinkedIn profile. I wrote him the message. Copy paste. Ask him if he wants the deck. We are building something that could be useful for them. It's a gamification, rewards and gamification system. Is somebody interested? Just start sending. Let them share their feedback. There was a feedback form to understand, finally whether they would use the product or not. There was a feedback form in that. It's a simple Google form. What did they understand from the deck, and would they use, if at all, in their product? Would they use this our Flyy as soon as we launch? So almost 100 people, not 100, 89 odd people answered. We reached out to 300 people. 89 product managers answered, and 55 of them said yes, if at all, but would like to know more. And 55 said that, and then I think 18 odd people said we will, we would like to know more.
Right.
And then very few said no. If at all, a complete system, if you're giving. Now I understand why they were saying yes, because tech effort is a lot. Maintenance, then maintaining it is another ballgame altogether. Now these guys, when they said, and surprisingly, one person, one of them was the product manager of Dealshare. He called up and he messaged, said that, can you give a demo to my CPO? Our office is in HSR layout.
Yeah, it's a beautiful office.
Dealshare.
Yeah.
So I said, so he reached out to us, and then me and Sunny, we went and started speaking. And then he actually said, whatever you're saying, we already have this built in. Can you give? So we had games also. We have three modules, right? Acquisition, retention, and engagement. We call it engagement, but it was initially games, just games.
Yes.
So that games, he said, can you give us that module was not there.
Okay.
So can you give us games? He said that. And then I asked him, what do you need in games? He was talking about, in MPL, you play games and then there is a leaderboard. Then I want to give loyalty points on the basis of that leaderboard. Now in the quiz, anyone participates, whoever ranks first gets rewarded, right? Similar to that, they wanted games, only games, not even gamification. He wanted to distribute loyalty points via games.
Okay.
So we said, yeah, we have it. And so because that was the first company we wanted to get in at any cost, we built it in almost, I think 2 weeks. We had the complete system ready, one dashboard wherein they could create different tournaments. And then we started asking them, okay, this is the dashboard we showed them. So the product manager said, can we also have this thing? Is it possible? I said, yes, in the next version it will be available.
Okay.
So immediately next day we would release that.
So everything was actually happening on the fly.
On the fly, yes. The name actually, I don't remember exactly. I think we were going to meet ICICI Bank. So we needed a t-shirt. Okay. Then I think Sunny was thinking. Then we just always talked about, how, okay, any product can fly. I don't remember exactly, how did that name came in. But we wanted a logo to be on the t-shirt. This logo, I don't think this was the first t-shirt that we printed. It was a very simple t-shirt. We went to meet ICICI Bank in Mumbai. That was our first pitch, even before Dealshare. ICICI said, we can build this ourselves. They just outright rejected us, and Kotak Bank was our second, stop. Right. But that too, it was just as a courtesy. We were going to. They were meeting us out of courtesy that you guys have come, let's meet up. We did not have anything. They asked, "Do you have anything to demo?" We said, "There is a deck out there." A very small demo we did, and then internally people talk. Then, right? That's how we now have Kotak Bank as our customer. So it was an initial, 2019 November. That's when we went there. And yeah, that's how we started. It was basically everything happened on the fly. Then we kept building based on getting feedback from the customers so far. Yeah.
I think which was the best approach, trying to understand the problem and then creating something out of it.
Yeah,
And
because we did the opposite for almost 5 years. Na?
Yes, I was actually talking to Sunny the other day, and that's what he also mentioned, that instead of, we did not break our minds on let's create something. We asked the product managers, what are the problems you face, and then created.
Yes. That
best
was
approach.
the thing.
Know your
Yeah.
customer and create something. Love the T-shirt wala story also, that like there was no logo and that's how you went about it. And are there any more stories like that? So let me tell. I mean, we all know that how Steve Jobs started Apple out of a garage. I myself worked in a startup where we used to work from a basement. We saw those kind of days. I'm sure not garage kind of stories, but are there any funny incidents, or any struggling incidents that you would
Also,
like to
funny incidents about what?
share? Starting up, that maybe about Flyy.
Starting up, so I used to initially, when we started, me and Sunny, almost for a month or so, so initially, how do you hire people? See, if you are from a very good reputed college like IIT, IIM, the biggest advantage is you get a set of people whom you can start up with.
Right. People want to join you, seeing that.
I mean, join you, more than joining, people out there. You have a network, you have alumni, your seniors probably are working for a company, a startup, which was initially startup, but now it has become really big in 3-4 years. That is a possibility. So that network helps a lot. But for us, I studied in a very basic college, and I was not inclined towards college. So I thought if you have a good idea, if you have sales skills, you can create a team, if you can motivate people. But then it takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
But so initially we were just taking resumes out of Naukri.com. We took some subscription, and then we were just calling people and convincing them that there is a company out there. We called almost 200-300 people almost on a daily basis, both of us.
Right.
Just sitting there, and then we had to find an office space, and then find initial set of people who can work with us. Okay, I also did not know much about programming. I was inclined towards tech, but I could not build a mobile application. I had never done that. I was hardly, when I met Sunny, I was 22, 23 years old. So at that time, I was also figuring out what to do. But I had this idea that, okay, AppBrowzer will build something. So 300, so it was like a marketing or sales pitch to candidates, and very few people would turn up for the interview. That used to happen, and then initially it was difficult for us. So that is why I say, anyone who is starting up today, I either tell them, either you should have, you crack CAT exam and do an MBA just for the sake of it. You join and leave.
Yeah.
Create a network out there, or probably, if you don't have any experience, don't have a network, join a company startup wherein you can get that exposure. You know people that, okay, this guy is good in tech, this guy is good, this girl is good in marketing, this person is can handle accounts well, or this is how to handle accounts. You get that exposure early from the founders, how to market, what are the different, you get to be a part of, if it's an initial early stage startup, you get to be a part of board meetings as well.
Yeah.
The board meetings, what is there? Two founders, and then if there is an angel investor, he'll come in. And they actually, product managers get to be a part of that initial board meeting. So that happens. There you learn a lot. And then you also get to experiment. You don't have that at the back of your mind. You don't have that, okay, what about the next round of funding, or how to grow, what if we do not reach. You have your own targets in hand.
Yes, yes. And
That
you also know who to go to.
who to go to, if at all, there is somebody always there to guide you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, if you're directly starting up, then it becomes a challenge.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of, you learn a lot. A character is developed, that you would have never developed that way. If you have that cushion, then you won't be able to take that challenge. Definitely you learn a lot, and then starting up is a different experience altogether. However, this will make it easier.
Yeah.
That network will make it easier for you. You already have a network, you know people. Most of our mistakes were in that category, wherein hiring was wrong, then we did not know the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have to just keep going in one direction and realize, that was the wrong direction, come back and restart again. So that eats up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And for me, okay, I was 22, 23, probably wouldn't have mattered. But for Sunny, he was like 33.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking, I was calculating.
Huh?
I was calculating how old he would have been.
So Sunny would always be like, you come with every day. I used to come up with new ideas. We'll do this. Karke. He would sit me down, come back. Matlab, he was like very grounded, saying that you should not be doing this and that. I was very full of energy and new different kinds of ideas on a daily
That's a
basis.
good pair, actually. I think I always think sometimes, to myself that Sunny is very grounded that way, and you're full of energy and full of ideas, and let's do this. So that's a good pair to go with. Yeah.
I think so. That is one of the reason, and one other thing is, I never liked Sunny initially. I didn't want to work with him, and I've told him. Many times I've told him when we were meeting for, it was very, how we met through a common friend in the sense, Sunny's brother's best friend,
Okay.
lives in my apartment. He's still there, apartment or building, same building. So I was in the gym, and I was working out in the building. And this guy comes in. He came twice. So second time, we just got acquainted and said hi. And he was like, "What do you do?" I said, "I have left my job." That was the first thing. So first time when he had met me, I told him I'm going to leave my job. Second time when I met him, in 1 week I have left my job, and I was only, I think, 8 months into the job, and I've left it. Why? And last time he asked, what do you want? His name is Mahavir Jain. So he's still there. It's his birthday tomorrow.
I hear his name a lot in conversations, I think. Yeah, Mahavir said this, Mahavir did this. So yeah,
Who says that?
I think from Mandar I've heard.
Mandar, because he's a big fan of him. So anyways, so he was my first angel investor, Mahavir. So anyways, so this guy comes in, he was like, when I told him, okay, I'm going to start, what I said, I'm starting a platform like Shopify. Shopify, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I was starting Banyafy.
Which I know now when I was working on the LinkedIn post. I did a couple of research, and then in 2014 we started Banyafy.
Acha, you read that. So that Banyafy was a similar platform. I wanted to build a platform. I did not know Shopify existed, first of all, when I started.
Alright.
I built it for 3-4 months and then realized there is a platform out there called Shopify. Okay. Then I started, debating with others. Okay. Why Banyafy should be the platform, not Shopify.
Not Shopify, alright.
When you start, you're like that. Your idea is the best. So I started differentiating, but I could not differentiate. But then I thought, okay, I will build something only for Indian audiences. Why Shopify not? Why is not every store? So my goal was to, all these retailers, small, everyone who has a shop should have an online presence.
Correct.
That was my idea. They should be online. That was my goal. So that is why I started Banyafy. So every idea that I started, it has to be a really large scale impact.
I've actually, just to let you know, I've used Shopify for affiliates. So what we used to do is, Alibaba, I think if you run ads for their products and if they go there, you get
So
some
that's drop
compensation.
shipping, no?
Drop shipping, exactly. I forgot the term because it's been years. So we did that using Shopify. So yeah.
So Shopify. So then I was like I wanted to create some platform, but technology, I did not know anything about technology, nothing. But this guy told Mahavir, "Okay, I'm starting up." He said, "Wait, gain some experience and then leave the job. Why are you leaving the job now?"
Was that your first job or?
Yeah, first job.
What was your first job? Okay.
That was my first job. 8 months. I've worked 8-10 months, I think. That was the thing. So then after that, post that so next day when I met him, I said I've left the job. He was like, okay. I mean, because most people talk about leaving their job and starting up. He was like, probably, he says it now that, I was like shocked and impressed at the same time that this guy last week he said he'll leave and this week he has left. So then I said, he said, okay, we started connecting and then, one day. So I had a partner before that. The first business partner was Shivank Agarwal.
Okay.
So this guy comes in, and how I got him was I wanted to hire somebody in Ruby on Rails.
All right. Okay.
So Ruby on Rails, that's the platform. It's a backend framework.
Right.
So I did not know Ruby on Rails. I wanted to hire somebody on Ruby on Rails because Ruby on Rails was the best platform to work on, and I said let's. So I started calling people. I did my research. I said we'll use Ruby on Rails. I started calling people where to hire Ruby on Rails. So I saw I think there was one website which this guy Shivank Agarwal had created. You can hire Ruby on Rails developers from me.
Okay.
So I called him. I said, do you have Ruby on Rails developer? He said, yeah, I have. What do you need? What are you doing? He started asking about my product. I was like, I was just starting. I didn't have anything. I was calling from home. He was like, okay, I think I can provide you. Let's meet up, he said. Immediately when he heard about what I'm doing, he said, let's meet up. I met him then and there. Okay, so he said, I also want to get involved. I said, okay. Both of us became co-founders.
He's the person who was actually going to help you with hiring Ruby on Rails developers.
He said, I have Ruby on Rails developers.
He himself ended up getting hired.
He was in Oracle.
Okay.
No, hiring, we became 50-50 partner.
Yeah.
I was like, so how to find a co-founder, people ask. That is how I just went for it. I trusted him. I started with him. Then we built a team of 8 people, 8 interns, 8
Right.
people.
Team of interns.
And then it was in a bank, Sunny can tell you, it was very, very bad dungeon kind of space wherein big table was there. 8 people were sitting. That was our first office. But this guy, what he did, 3-4 months, when we built a team, really good people came in. Really good people in the sense, these were freshers, but they learned a lot in like 4-5 months.
Right. They were open to learning.
They were able to code. So we started building the platform, we were really into, initially it was like hire people and then, all of that. But once you have hired, they've started working, the platform was being built. Probably 10-15% was built. What he does, one fine day, he calls me up and says that, he was working for Oracle as well at that time. He said, I'll leave my job, but did not leave.
Okay.
So then one fine day he said, Oracle got to know that I'm working on something else. I have to, leave I cannot be with you. So he said. I said, no problem, but don't call anybody in the office. I'll tell them myself. I told everybody, okay, this is what it is. Next day I come to the office, there's nobody.
Oh.
There's nobody. Nobody came in. So I was like calling everybody. There was no one who was picking up my call. I was like all alone. So then this guy, then I started rehiring. Now I decided I'll hire experienced people.
I love the spirit. You're like, I'm not going to stop. Let's just continue and rehire.
Spirit क्या होता है उसमें अभी करना है तो करना है.
Okay.
6 महीने में क्या spirit break होगा? Okay, let's.
Sometimes when co-founder leaves or something like that, people
I don't know कैसे होता है. I've never experienced that case.
Which is good. I mean, yeah, you.
So I was like, okay, अभी नया hire करते करके hire करना start किया. And I told Mahavir this happened. He was like कि okay, I'll become your partner. I'll put in 50% of this one. I said okay, 50-50 तेरे को भी. He said I'm sleeping part. I won't work. No problem. So I never had that kind of thing. Wherein I negotiate 50-50 chalo sab. Because you are starting up. If you get involved in all those things na, it will be a big headache later on. It's okay, we started. Then what happened, Mahavir was there. Then I did not know that this guy who has left started the same product with a different name with all these people there, different office.
The Oracle
he took everybody.
Oh.
I did not know that. 2 months down the line, one guy comes in and he came to ask the internship money that I have not paid him. 3 months ka, sorry, 1 month ka आधा पैसा you did not pay. He said that. I was like, okay, I'll pay. But then, do you even have any shame coming to me to ask for that 3,000 rupees?
Yeah.
So internship was 6,000 rupees करके ऐसे दे रहे थे तो 3,000 रुपये मांगने आ गया. Do you have any shame करके? Then he was like, I'll give you, but I'll give you at a someday after a month करके. आफ्टर अ मंथ करके. तो उसको बोला यू लीव करके ऐसे बोला. तो एक बंदा बैठ के मेरे साथ काम कर रहा था उधर पे. So he was like, okay, you only have one person. So he was working with him.
Achha.
He comes here. Then while going, so I also told him, he was asking me several questions. How are you going to go ahead? What will you do? All of that. I said, I'll hire experienced people, not like you guys. Okay. So he got irritated or probably annoyed. He went back, but then he comes back again.
Okay.
Said, you know what? You are talking a lot. Your co-founder has started another company karke there karke. I go, so what? I was like, so what? You must have started. Everyone is working there. He was like that. I said, no problem.
Right.
Karke.
So your initial team actually went there.
Everyone, 8 of them went there.
Oh.
So they were big company. He had a lot of money probably, so he started himself. Why to take from this guy? And he was himself, Ruby on Rails. He understood everything, how to build, how to. So I had been working on it for 3-4 months before even reaching out to anybody. Before even leaving my job, I was experimenting on it, how to create a platform like Shopify.
Yeah.
I had the basic structure ready. So that I gave. He got to know and he started building. So this guy tells me and then said that, okay, I got to know, told Mahavir, like, ऐसे ही होता है करके वो लोगों के साथ नहीं करना चाहिए वो ऐसे बोला. So then we were working. Then this guy calls me one day. He came to, चलो आपके साथ दारू पीते करके घर आया. तो Mahavir and my friends in the building, they were like, you should not have called that guy करके. Why are you calling him? मतलब करके ऐसे करके. तो मैंने बोला क्या किया उसने, मतलब like he's just an intern. तो उसको क्या करके. So वो आया, दारू पी रहे थे, दारू पीते पीते बोलता है कि लास्ट में बोलता है, सर मेरे को वहाँ मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है, मेरे को वापस आना है, आप लोगे क्या करके. तो मैंने बोला कि सोचता हो करके. सोचा फिर देन उसको महावीर को बोला नो कि नहीं बोला. मेरे फ्रेंड्स भी नो बोल रहे थे कि नहीं, एक बार छोड़ के दिया, धोखा दे के गया, उसको नहीं लेना है, ऐसे वैसे करके. तो वैसे बोल रहे थे. तो मैंने बोला भाई मेरे पास है नहीं काम करने के लिए, वो बंदे को आता है, बुला लेता हूँ करके. सो आई कॉल्ड हिम बैक. सो विथ हिम अनदर बैक, सो ही वाज अ फ्रंट एंड गाय, दिस गाय वाज अनदर गाय वाज बैक एंड. वो दोनों आ गया मेरे पास, आ गए, दोनों को ले लिया मैंने. वो 2 मेन थे, बाकी सब तो बेवकूफ थे. मेन गाइज केम बैक एंड दे वर विद अस. इवन जब वहाँ से मूव होके यहाँ पे AppBrowzer चालू किया तो वो लोग ऑलमोस्ट 1.5-2 साल काम किया मेरे साथ वो लोगों ने. तो that happened initially. That's how, that was the story. So for 2 years, we were just struggling with, hiring. People were going, leaving. And बहुत होता है. और then initially ऐसा भी था कि इसका सैलरी बढ़ा है, इसका नहीं बढ़ा है, तो वो गुस्सा हो गया, दोनों साथ में चले गए. ऐसा भी हो रहा था. तो वो सब थोड़ा टाइम पास रहता था. आधा टाइम तो टाइम पास ही चल रहा था.
Right. No, that happens. I mean, I can't relate to exact experience of yours, but that bootstrapped one startup that I worked on, this used to happen. People just walk away. Like next day we get an email that, I'm not going to come. Or always behind the money and, like, I won't do this.
They are not behind. I mean, I would say, initially expecting. So that is why I said, So like Alibaba, if you know the story of Alibaba, you only know that Alibaba was started in a room with 18 co-founders, and just Jack Ma and 18 people. But all of them were his students. 17 of them were his students.
Right.
He was a teacher in a local university. And but not many know Alibaba. He started Alibaba in I think 2000 or 1999, around that, 2000 or 2001. Before that, I think 1999 he started. Before that, he ran China pages for 4 years.
Alright.
That did not succeed.
He's seen a lot of failure anyway. I mean, when
No,
we've read about-
failure means, but if you, so that 4 years, and then, those were the building years. He did not building years, and then, you create a network. If somebody knows how to get it right the first time, I think, probably he's a genius. Yeah, but there is a lot of luck factor also involved. You are in the right place at the right time. You have the right people around you. That is very important. So I would say, people say, it's very difficult to start a business. It's not difficult to start a business or run a business. It's about, what kind of network you have, what kind of environment you have, where you are.
Right.
Those are the factors that plays a lot of role in the in how you build the company.
Got it.